Alright folks, it's time to make this lightsaber do something and actually look cool. It's been far too long since we actually opened up a screen and showed what the program did. I've added a new method. So if we go back on a tour of our class here, we can see our class now has a bunch of fields. Okay, whoops, man, when the font's this big it's hard to do that. These are the fields right here, and the fields literally tell you about the object. Here are the constructors. Okay, we have a constructor that allows us to set things to whatever we want, and we have a constructor here that sets things to be a default kind of typical green lightsaber. We have another method here that we created called render, that if we call this method it's going to draw the object on the screen, so we like that. And then I've added a second method here, so we can have as many methods as we want, but notice we're still inside the class. End of lightsaber class. We're in there, and we're going to have the toggle switch. So this is going to turn the lightsaber on or off. And you can see here I have if the lightsaber is on, okay, so this variable up here, on, which is a Boolean. If that lightsaber is on, then we're going to change it to false, because it's a toggle switch. Otherwise, if the lightsaber was off, we're going to turn it on. And now this method, you might say to yourself, this is kind of silly. Couldn't I just change that in my code? Well, we really want to model exactly how a lightsaber works. And a lightsaber has a toggle switch. So you want to be able to just call Luke.toggleSwitch at some point. And in fact, we're actually going to take this entire class, and we're going to prove this separation even further, and we're going to take this entire class out. So I just deleted all that. And I opened up a new tab here, and you can do that by clicking on this guy and go to New Tab. And I'm actually going to dump this all in here, so we actually can keep things separate. So here's our usage. This file actually uses the class, and this is actually the class itself. Okay, so we've created these three guys here, and now we ought to set up the screen and do all of the work of making this go. So let's set up the screen, size of the screen, some reasonable, I don't know, some reasonable size. Let's make it big. Okay, background, I'll make the background black. Okay, and then in draw, which is the function that gets repeated over and over again to draw our screen, we are going to actually draw the lightsaber. So we're going to say Luke.render. We're going to say Vader.render, and we're going to say Maul.render. And so you can see here what this is going to do is take each of these individual lightsabers, go over here, find its render function, and look, and now that we've used these variables here, it's going to make the blade the right length, it's going to make it the right color, it's going to put it in the right spot, and so hopefully our program here actually will do something now if we run it. Okay, and it looks like, oh, I screwed up a semicolon. Okay. Oh, I spelled render wrong. That's cute. Let's keep going here. Alright, looks like we're going to run. And you can see here, this program is not exciting. It renders 3 lightsaber hilts, and that's about it. We can't click on them, they don't open. We need to be able to use that toggle switch function. So over here I created that method that's inside of our class that's called void toggle switch. And so we need to actually be able to set that toggle switch and change things, because as soon as we change on to true, when render is called, the if on will happen, because it would be if true, and it will actually draw the lightsaber. And so we're going to just use key pressed here. So void key pressed. And we're going to put some sort of nonsense keys on things here. If the key equals D, then we will say Vader.toggle switch. Okay, is that the name of the thing? I forget. Toggle switch. Yep. So we have to call this exact function. So the way that objects work is you call the name of the object. So you don't say lightsaber, you say which lightsaber you want to talk about. And then you use a dot, and then once you use a dot, you can access anything that's inside of that object. Okay, and we're going to do a couple more of these here. We're going to say if key equals L. Oops. Yep. Then we're going to turn on Luke's. Is it called Luke? Yep. Luke.toggle switch. And then finally, if key equals M, then we'll turn on Darth Maul's lightsaber. Okay, let's see if this works. Ooh, I can't find anything named D. Interesting. I wonder if it needs to be in quotes. Huh. Perhaps the key code is slightly different. Let's try D. Is it like that? I don't think it will. So we need to look more into key codes here, forgetting other things. But for right now, we'll just switch back to ones that we know work, and we'll talk about key codes later. So we'll just key them up to random codes. Oh, it's because we didn't use equals equals. Rookie mistake, Corneli. Rookie mistake. Okay, and our program runs, and we can turn on our object. And you can see here I'm actually pressing up over and over again, and it's still drawing it. And the reason is that we're not redrawing the background. So in draw, we always need to redraw over our background so that it covers up anything that just happened. So let's run that again. You can see here I can turn my lightsaber on and off. You know, this isn't that impressive, obviously, but we're getting the basic ideas down. Okay, so that is how you use and implement an object. The big ideas here are that we have this code right here. We wrote this code, and it describes an object for which we could make a bajillion more. So I could do this. I could say copy, paste, 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 paste. And now I don't have, in the old way of thinking about code, I would have had to copy and paste all of this that many times. But now all I have to do really is create a bunch of new lightsabers, and then down here, code for which key I want to control them, and then just tell them to render here. And that's pretty simple. And there's an even better way to do this. You could think of putting all these objects in an array list and just use a loop right here to call render on each part of your array list, which we saw in the dots video. Alright folks, good luck.